Have you ever found yourself walking away from an opportunity, even though you deeply wanted it, or failing at something, not because you couldn't succeed, but because something inside held you back? This phenomenon is not rare. It's called self-sabotage, and it's one of the most complex, misunderstood behaviors in human psychology. In this documentary, we will explore this topic in detail. From the psychological roots of self-defeating behaviors to the ways people unknowingly sabotage their careers, relationships, and health, to the tools that can break these destructive cycles. This is the science, the struggle, and the solution. This is a deep dive into why people self-sabotage. To begin, let's define what self-sabotage actually means. Self-sabotage refers to a pattern of behavior that undermines a person's own goals or well-being. These behaviors might appear irrational on the surface. Why would anyone consciously destroy their own chances of happiness or success? But here's the twist. Most self-sabotaging actions are not conscious. They operate subconsciously, rooted in our deepest fears, beliefs, and unresolved psychological wounds. People self-sabotage by procrastinating, by starting fights in healthy relationships, by quitting a job just as it begins to offer advancement, by turning to substances that impair judgment, by constantly seeking approval or pushing others away. Self-sabotage is not a character flaw. It's a coping mechanism, a defense system, an attempt, often misguided, to feel safe, avoid pain, or stay within the boundaries of what the mind considers familiar. Psychologists have studied this behavior for decades. The term self-defeating behavior entered professional psychology literature in the mid-20th century. Since then, it has become a central focus of behavioral therapy, trauma studies, addiction recovery, and relationship counseling. But to truly understand why people sabotage themselves, we must go deeper into what drives these actions beneath the surface. Let's explore the emotional blueprint behind self-sabotaging behaviors. Most people assume that success is purely a matter of hard work and willpower, but the human mind is far more nuanced than that. Every decision we make, whether to act, delay, commit, or run, is filtered through emotions. And behind self-sabotage lies a powerful network of emotional drivers. Fear is perhaps the single greatest force behind self-sabotage, but not just fear of failure. Sometimes, it's the fear of success that paralyzes people. Success can bring pressure, visibility, expectations. What if they can't maintain it? What if they're exposed as a fraud? This leads to our second driver. 2. Imposter syndrome. Many high achievers quietly suffer from imposter syndrome. The belief that they don't truly deserve their accomplishments. They fear being found out as inadequate. So what do? They unconsciously sabotage their next move, ensuring they never get too high and risk a fall. It's not that they don't have talent, it's that they don't believe they belong. Low self-esteem. Self-esteem is how much value a person places on themselves. People with chronically low self-esteem often believe they are not worthy of love, success, or peace. So when those things come close, they push them away. It's not rational, but it feels consistent. Their subconscious says, "This is too good for you. Something must be wrong." So they sabotage the good to return to the familiar. Control. Sometimes people sabotage themselves because it gives them a sense of control. If failure is inevitable, better to fail on their own terms than to wait and be disappointed. So they jump ship, quit early, burn bridges. It's not self-destruction, it's self-preservation cloaked in destructive clothing. Now that we understand the emotional drivers, let's examine how self-sabotage appears in real life. Here are several common patterns of self-sabotage. Procrastination. This is perhaps the most widespread form. Putting things off, delaying decisions, and avoiding action is often a way to escape fear. Fear of doing it wrong, fear of being judged, fear of the outcome. The result? Missed deadlines, lost opportunities, and deep frustration. Perfectionism. At first glance, Perfectionism may seem admirable, but it's often a mask for fear of inadequacy. Perfectionists often don't finish tasks because they fear they won't be perfect. They criticize themselves endlessly, destroying their motivation. It's not about doing it well, it's about never feeling good enough. Negative self-talk. The words we say to ourselves matter. People who constantly tell themselves, "I can't do this," or "I always mess things up," are reinforcing a mental blueprint of failure. This internal narrative becomes a prophecy, one they unconsciously fulfill by sabotaging their own progress. Substance use and escapism, drugs, alcohol, compulsive gaming, overeating, these aren't just bad habits. They're often coping mechanisms for unresolved pain or stress. While they may offer short-term relief, they wreak havoc on long-term goals, derailing careers, relationships, and personal growth. Toxic relationship patterns. Some people repeatedly pursue partners who are emotionally unavailable, abusive, or distant. This isn't random. It often stems from childhood attachment wounds, where love and pain were linked. So they seek what feels familiar, even if it hurts. Modern neuroscience gives us even deeper insight into self-sabotage. The amygdala, the brain's fear center, reacts to perceived threats, not just physical ones, but emotional threats too. Success, vulnerability, exposure, all can register as dangerous. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for logic and planning, gets overridden by emotional circuits when stress is high. So when a person self-sabotages, it's not because they're weak-willed. It's because their survival brain is in control, not their rational brain. This is why changing behavior is not simply a matter of motivation. It requires rewiring the brain through consistent self-awareness, compassion, and often professional help. If you found value here, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell, so you never miss a chance to grow with us. We're building a space for self-awareness, healing, and transformation. Stay connected, because your journey deserves guidance, not judgment. Thank you for watching, and remember, you are stronger than your self-doubt.